trying to think of any kind of story whatsoever for an opening.
We don't need it.
No. I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And we doing Filmographies. Today we're talking about the 19th movie of Mr. Billy Crudup. His middle name is Billy. His first name is Billy. Billy Crudup. Dedication with Mandy Moore.
Yeah, from 2007. Rated R. Thankfully, 1 hour and 35 minutes.
Lots of boobs?
You know, if there were, boy, that'd really turn this movie around for me.
Oh, is there maybe in the porno theater?
I think you might see the nip.
I saw a delicate butt rubbing in the opening porno, and I was like, it looks nice.
You think that was a real porno?
Not really.
Because it didn't really seem like it was.
If I don't see things going in and out.
I'm assuming it's R-rated just because of the language.
The shitty language. Dedication. Henry Roth, Billy Crudup, and Rudy Holt, Tom Wilkinson are a children's book writing and illustrating duo. Henry's an utter shithead. Rudy ain't all that bad. Rudy dies after their most recent book is a smash success, and on the hook for more installments, Henry needs to get his head out of his ass and work with new illustrator Lucy Riley. Mandy Moore, or his publisher Arthur Plank, Bob Balaban, will sue him. Henry struggles to not be a cunt towards Lucy. Lucy struggles with her mother Carol, Diane Wiest, and author ex-boyfriend Jeremy, Martin Freeman. Can Henry stop being the absolute worst for long enough to weasel his way into Lucy's heart? Who gives a shit? That's a pretty good synopsis.
It's pretty dang good.
2 Balabans.
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah. You know, when you see crossovers like this, especially one after another, you're kind of like, I wonder if maybe there was like some influence or they made a connection in the previous movie, and he's like, we should get Balaban on that. You know, this felt like, because this came, 3 years after Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I can't see anything that I don't like about you.
But you will.
Right now I can't.
But you will. You know, you will think of things. And I'll get bored with you and feel trapped because that's what happens with me.
And this felt like that. It was very much influenced by a movie like that.
Because of like the choppy cuts?
Well, the choppy cuts, which are terrible. But I don't know. Also like this... Because, I mean, Billy Crudup's character is a cunt, but he's also just sort of like a slouch. And then like this sort of like pixie-ish kind of character comes into his life. And, you know, there's a dream-like aesthetic where he's in memories that he reenacts, but then sort of it becomes a reality, which sort of makes it feel like, I don't know, out of place a little bit.
What is the exact criteria for a manic pixie dream girl? Because Mandy Moore is just trying to make her money. You know, she's not like, no, I mean in this movie, she's not there to like service Billy Crudup. She doesn't really give a fuck about him. It's a dope gig. She's trying to get it done. She puts up with him. She's not doing any dumb shit in it.
No, well, I think it's the always present eyeliner.
Oh.
And then the way her hair sort of anime style like obfuscates her face.
Okay.
So it's like just her eyes poking out at you.
Oh.
But also, I don't know, she's a little quirky.
Is she?
When she's with her mom, there's a little bit of a quirk going on with the dildo.
I just found a dildo.
It's a vibrator, Mom.
Why was the poor thing frozen?
It wasn't frozen, it was hidden.
You want some tea? Kind of. It's not like super hardcore, but I was getting faint whiffs of other movies.
Man, that dildo shit is bullshit. Like, her mom's digging through her house. She tried to hide a dildo in her freezer. Why shouldn't she have a vibrator? Why would you not? She's a young person on the move.
Right. Why I get she said why the freezer, but why the freezer? And you gotta
her mom wouldn't look in there.
Then you gotta warm... Well, apparently not.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Then you gotta warm that thing up because it looked like metallic.
Well, I don't think it's going from the freezer into her cooch. I think she stashed it in there when her mom was coming over.
That one time? But she didn't know she was coming over.
Oh, you think so?
Because she came to evict her.
Oh.
She just walked in and she goes, you can't walk in lawfully.
Well, I apologize for treating you like you were stupid right there.
You know,
the tables have turned.
It's a lifelong affliction, but...
Then yes, I have no idea why should we keep that in the freezer. Mm-hmm. Terrible idea.
So I will say this movie was directed by Justin Theroux, who's more of an actor.
I agree with what you said.
There's sometimes a buggy. How many drivers does a buggy have?
One.
But much more.
But
known as a writer a bit too, though.
Yes.
Last thing on the list is director.
And on the IMDb web browser, they don't even have a director tab for him.
Yeah, because he's only got one.
This, which he says once the film was acquired by Harvey Weinstein, he lost control of the edit. So although he thought there were solid performances that he was proud of, he doesn't feel ownership over the theatrical release.
That's probably a good way to get out of making such a shitty movie.
Yeah. And
well, if I had put it together, let me tell you, it would have been something special.
originally, Mia Farrow and Bob Balaban were set to play the Diane Wiest and Tom Wilkinson roles. So I guess that answers my question right there. Balaban was just always sort of involved. Yeah, so Justin Theroux, he wrote the screenplay for Iron Man 2, Zoolander 2, Tropic Thunder. He was also an actor in the movie The Baxter, which I don't know if you noticed it. I didn't at the time. Catherine Lloyd Burns plays a mother in the bookstore, presumably in the beginning.
The mother of the daughter who Crudup says terrible things to, I imagine.
Santa Claus doesn't exist. Beaver can also mean vagina.
Oh! No, that's Amy Sedaris.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness, yes.
I think she's just sort of hovering around. She was the mother of the baby who thought Rhoda Mitchell was going to steal it in that postpartum depression movie.
What the fuck? Everything falls apart.
Everything falls into
Everything
parts.
in its right place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called.
Who was also, involved with the Baxter, and so I'm wondering if there's just a little bit of a crossover there. Justin Theroux also voices the character of the lawyer on the phone with Billy Crudup.
I like Justin Theroux.
I recognize him, but nothing about him stands out to me, unless he was like a douchebag lawyer on another thing.
He was really great in The Leftovers. And I feel like anytime I see him, I'm like, I like this guy. I don't know. He's good looking. He has a good look. He's a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I enjoy Justin Theroux.
Yeah,
his movies, no, like the ones he's written.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Iron
Tropic
Man
Thunder
2,
is okay.
I don't like Tropic Thunder, and Iron Man 2 is
long.
not very good.
If you cut 40 minutes off of Tropic Thunder, you'd have a real banger. But yeah, Iron Man 2 and 3 aren't really that great.
I liked 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was entertaining.
You're the only one. I will say this, and we'll get right into it. The tagline is, with each moment, we write our story, which is garbage.
Yeah.
No idea how much the movie cost. I would probably venture to guess 10 or 11 mil.
Really? Fuck, dude. That's too bad.
And it grossed $92,000.
Yeah, this is a real nothing of a nothing.
We mentioned, it does have Amy Sedaris in it, Christine Taylor, obviously Ben Stiller's ex-wife, or are they still married?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of feel like they are not.
I kind of feel like that too. Bobby Cannavale is in this Bad Mamma Jammer.
Barely.
Briefly. And no, I don't even think he speaks, but Peter Bogdanovich.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
That was like, oh.
Oh, great. Peter Bogdanovich is in here. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, he just gives like a kind of a look when Billy Crudup looks at him like, you writing my book? And he's just like, It's a shame. I like Peter Bogdanovich.
I do too.
So the movie begins, right? We're in a porno theater.
Uh-huh.
And basically, Tom Wilkinson likes to go to adult cinema, which I didn't realize was still around.
Yeah.
And it's mentioned later on, possibly also like strip clubs.
Do you think that they're still around because people like to jack off outside of the house? Do you think that they're still around because people like to hook up in the theater? Do you think they're still around for old people that can't use the internet and don't like DVDs?
I imagine all three of those are true.
Okay.
Because there's got to be a large enough market to sustain it. I'm not sure where the theater is, but real estate isn't cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
To just get 4 guys in there jerking it every now and again.
You got to have it staffed. There's people running the projection booth. That's pretty crazy, dude.
I also don't know is this set when it's filmed?
I think so.
It seems like it, but it also kind of feels like the 90s at times for some reason. Do we ever see a smartphone?
We don't, but I don't know. Just their looks are not
I think
90s.
that's well, maybe.
I think maybe there's a laptop or something in there.
So the lady starts talking to the guy in the movie. She's like, touch my beaver. And Billy Crudup's just cringing the whole time.
He's covering his face.
Yeah, and guys are yelling, and Tom Wilkinson's
Well, it's 'cause
like,
they're
shut the
arguing
fuck up. And the
in-
guy's like,
in
I'm
the
trying to
thing.
beat it over here.
Yeah.
And he goes, bunch of perverts. And then she says that beaver line, and he goes, I got it. And they run out because he is going, you know what, God, I wish I would remember the name of the beaver. Adam?
Marty.
Eric?
Is that
Marty?
Marty the Beaver?
Marty the Beaver?
Marty the Beaver.
Hey.
And they go to Bob Balaban. Apparently, they've got a couple of books to their credit, and they're pitching him the idea, and Bob's just in typical Balaban fashion. He's just not having it.
Straight face, nodding his head. Looks like he's not enjoying what they're saying at all.
Yeah. He breaks into people's houses, does he? And the story is really stupid. The beaver looks almost like Bubsy, the old video game character.
Yeah.
And
Conker's bad fur day?
yeah, right. And Billy Crudup calls Bob Balaban a
Cocksucker.
And I want it ready for a Christmas release.
and he goes, I knew you were a smart guy or whatever. So they do the book. And then it's pretty successful. They're doing a book signing, which immediately my brain, and you probably, if you have the same feeling, you know where I'm going to go with this. It's a children's book. What child gives a fuck about who wrote it to get an autograph?
Oh, no, I think I could see being into that when I was that age. If you told me that the writer of my favorite book was around, I would go meet them.
Meet them.
I remember
Maybe.
being excited about...
But you'd expect sort of a character, I would feel, if you're a child.
No, there was some stupid books that I liked that always had like a big Great Dane in them.
Marmot? No, not Marmot.
No, they were kids' books.
Okay.
They were nice.
Pinkerton.
And it was like exciting to think about the author. The teachers would talk about the authors, and you'd be kind of excited about them.
Maybe that's just me.
It is.
Because
It's
the kid
just
in the
you.
movie seems to be under the impression that Marty's real,
Yeah.
right? And I love this with Tom Wilkinson. I don't know if they had mentioned the Knicks tickets or anything prior, but I actually wasn't paying attention to know if she was dying of cancer or something.
No, she's just...
She just had a
sad.
Knicks cap on.
She was adopted.
And he goes,
Marty
hey,
the Beaver was just here, and he told me to give someone called Cassidy some Knicks tickets.
and Billy Crudup, a total shitbag, is pissed because he's like, one of those is mine. She's tearing up at this point, you know, and God bless a good, an uncharacteristic, just muted milquetoast Amy Sedaris appearance. She isn't wacky. She isn't dirty. She's just a lady.
Yeah, that is nice when you see her do that. I
'Cause
like
I
her
like
being
her.
goofy.
I do too.
I don't like her being gross necessarily because
No.
I think she's cute.
Why don't you come to my crib after school and I'll make your pinky all stinky.
And so Billy Crudup pulls the kid aside and he goes, oh, hey, the beaver's not real.
Santa's not real.
It's also a euphemism for a vagina. And yeah, Santa's not real. And everybody's clutching their pearls, you know.
It's horrible. Why would you do that?
Even like the biggest fucking jerkweed, not going to go that far.
You'd have to be having some sort of like current mental breakdown where
Yeah.
all the stuff is falling in your head right now and you're forced to do this and you just have this mental
And this is
shutdown
rock
there.
bottom. Because
Right.
if your publisher got wind that you're talking to a 7-year-old about a vagina, you're done.
He was just like, man, this is stupid. Hey, little girl, let me tell you bad things. He's such a fucking dickhead.
Oh, he's such a shitter.
Oh.
What is it about him and these roles?
I think that he probably was excited to be a dick.
He's done it enough.
Yeah.
You know?
This is a slightly different dick, though. And I assume he must be friends with Justin Theroux or want to work
They must
with him.
have, yeah.
Everybody that's in this movie, it's like clearly this is because Theroux is already somebody and like knows them.
Maybe they all didn't get paid like in that Rhoda Mitchell movie. And they're just like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
For Justin Theroux, young blossoming talent. So, you know, they get out of there, putz around for a little while, and Tom Wilkinson's feeding salami to pigeons.
They only eat bread.
Nonsense. Genoa salami is the best in the world. They would have invented it if they could have.
You know, they're real New York guys. These guys are. But he's also complaining about headaches and such. Billy Crudup frequently needs to lie down on the floor and have heavy objects on his chest.
To feel safe.
To feel safe.
I don't feel safe.
He's also afraid of dying. He may have been abused as a child.
He definitely, yeah.
To some extent, I don't know if it was sexual or just physical. He seems to have issues with his mother, but his father also doesn't appear to have been that good of a guy. And Tom Wilkinson ends up in the hospital, and he ain't looking too good.
Now one of his eyes doesn't work.
Yeah, he says, I can't see out of my left eye.
Well, is there something? They're probably gonna fix it up for you.
Yeah.
There ain't no fixing it up. I'm on the train out of town, Billy.
When I close my good eye, I see a light, and it is so beautiful.
He doesn't say that, does he?
He does.
He does?
Yeah.
I thought you came up with that on the fly.
No, he says that, and it's, it is exactly as you take it.
I know how it sounds, but it's actually very beautiful.
We don't see him die.
Nope, he just dead.
He get a phone call.
Billy's crying. He get a phone call.
He get a phone call. He cry. I have such problems with these movies because they all sort of seem chicken shit. The one thing I will say about Daddy Longlegs is that they didn't take the easy route
Yeah, Daddy Longlegs can't be lumped in with these.
No, I'm saying, as opposed to movies like this.
Get those long legs out of your mouth.
No. As opposed to a movie like this, or even Trust the Man, these characters are all established and financially well off. There's no issues. So then all that leaves are these self-imposed, life-altering, soul-crushing, bullshit that they create for themselves. And it's just so aggravating. Dude's living he's dating Ben Stiller's wife, but he kicks her out because Tom's going to live with them while they're writing.
You just have to move out.
I don't understand.
It could get real small in here pretty fast.
He's got like a super dingy, but like big, old school warehouse apartment.
Yeah, it's confusing. Where is this? I mean,
it seems like they're around.
It seems like they're in one of the cities where that would be worth a couple $1 million,
Yeah, I'm assuming, I guess I don't know, but if I had to guess, possibly the Bronx, maybe Harlem.
They live on Coney Island.
They do.
Yeah.
Maybe Roosevelt Island.
Oh, you think so?
Which was designed to be a car-free community. I don't know if you knew that or not. And not only that, but you actually put your garbage in a chute, and it all sucks in tubes. And that because they don't have garbage trucks. Yes. And then comes right out of China.
I thought the lava ball would just melt it.
No. It took the day off.
The Earth is hollow?
Yeah.
Birds aren't
flat,
real?
Really.
Okay.
So now we learn that they have some sort of a contract that locked them into a multi-book deal.
One of them's due.
Yeah, even though Tom Wilkinson's dead, the next book is due in like a month or two. And so Bob Balaban brings in 3 artists. 2 guys who are kind of guys that maybe you've seen around. But Bob Balaban's like, these suck. You 2 dudes suck. Mandy Moore, yours is barely better. But to make it in this industry, you need 99% of it is spirit or drive, gumption, and 1% is talent. So he goes to the 2 dudes. He's like, you're 99% of the way there. And they're like, oh, thanks. Oh, you want us to leave? And Billy Crudup had dismissed Mandy Moore mere moments earlier when he shoulder thrust her while trying to get into the elevator.
Yeah, you just, for no reason whatsoever, is like, yeah, your work sucks.
Yeah, keep at it, basically. So he hires her, and he's like, call Billy Crudup, but she's like, I absolutely cannot do that because he just told me I suck. And Diane Weist is her mother. She is... Weist.
Isn't it Weist?
It's whatever I make it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's Weist.
Diane Weist.
Thank you.
Diane Weist
is her mother, who is renting her apartment. Apparently she's a landlord of some sort.
Weist looks different.
I was getting like total Lost Boy vibes from her on this one. She's back in that sort of authoritarian, but also like aloof and like, I don't know, jovial mom mode.
I was staring at her and I was like, I know that's Diane Weist, but what is Weist about her? And, I got kind of caught up in that whole, like what makes a face a face. It makes you think they're that person.
She's an American Judi Dench, I think. She was also on Law & Order, which is where I really got more familiar with her.
That's fair. She'll always be the mom in Lost Boys to me. And so I think she's a little thicker. She's 20 years older.
Yeah, and I think this must have been right off the heels of Law & Order, where she was still doing it.
And I think I watched her in Intervention somewhere around here, too.
Okay.
I think she plays Gabriel Burns' therapist.
I was going to say, she plays Gabriel Burns?
Yeah. And I don't know, there's something about a smile, a look she gives where you're like, yep, that's Diane Weist right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her eyes close, the smile beams, slight erection, but it's respectful. Me.
Oh.
As a result. But so she's like, look, honey, you got to get your life together. I can't keep floating you, right? And Mandy Moore, and she goes, you know what? I'm going to write you a check, though, because I said your drawings are stupid, and I feel bad, and I want you to forgive me. And so she gives her a check. She's like, this will last you through next month, maybe a little bit longer. And Mandy Moore's like, thanks, Mom. Last time. I swear, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to apply to law school. And she takes the check back, and she goes, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be helping you. She keeps riding her a little bit, what about your boyfriend? And
talking about this movie is almost as boring as watching it.
Yeah.
When I watched it, I was like, this movie's like not good. But it's not bad.
Yeah.
In my opinion, changed in the last half hour a lot.
There's like 7 things that happen. So it's definitely not difficult keeping track of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't think we meet Martin Freeman, Jeremy, yet. When he showed up, I was like, oh, A scruffy Martin Freeman. This is weird.
Martin Freeman, this is before you're in Marvel shows.
Yeah.
After The Office, your hair is terrible.
Yeah, I think he had Shaun of the Dead was on his belt, and one American film.
It's probably the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, he did Hitchhikers years before this, right? But that was an English production, wasn't it?
Was it? I mean, it's an English book. I don't know.
I don't know.
Movie's not good.
Yeah. And so where are we at?
Your little erection.
So Mandy finally calls Billy. She's like, here's the deal. I'm going to do this. And he's just like, this is stupid. Everything's stupid. I don't want to do it.
Come over here. I'm going to say mean things to you for no reason.
Yeah. They meet at the diner and she's like, look, I don't need a friend. This is just a job. Okay. So just tell me what I need to know to be able to get into the mode to do my job, and we'll get this done. And that's what I'm thinking the whole time. It's like, how difficult is it really at this point with your established character to just bang something out? The first one was apparently like a Christmas themed book. You know, do a fucking Hanukkah one or something. Give her the shit, let her draw it. Because the drawing, I mean, as long as you can mimic it, it's not going to be the hardest part. It's finding the character, and that's his shit. And he's just an idiot. So he starts telling a story about the waitress.
She wants to be an actress. She's got that air of entitlement mixed with desperation. She doesn't have the looks, though. She doesn't even have the talent, but like an old donkey. She's been at it so long, she's not fit to try to do anything else.
Did she had an abortion. She cries about it, really spins a yarn and rips her a new one. Not to her face.
Just being rude.
Just being rude, crude, attitude sort of dude.
Not even like, ha ha ha, like, oh, let's do some imagining. No, it's just, let's be as mean as possible.
It's very dark.
This is my mode. I'm mean all the time.
Yep. And then
I'm hurt. Hurt people.
And after casting vicious dispersions against Fricky, what is her name? I forget. He turns to Mandy Moore and he goes, and you're worse. Right. And, you know, she picks up her ball and she goes home, man. That's some painful shit. It's uncalled for. And so Bob Balaban, she goes in there and she's like, look, bro.
That is so unprofessional, Miss Riley. I'm shocked.
You can call me by my first name.
Well, of course I can. Lisa?
Lucy.
Lizzie?
I cannot. This isn't. You need to. All right. If you want to leave, you're done. You know, there's no going back downstairs or whatever. You used to do copywriting or something, right?
There's no coming back.
There ain't no coming back, man.
This is the really real world. There ain't no coming back.
So she's about to head out and he goes, I'll give you like, I don't know, 50 grand to do this and 100 grand. And she's like, he goes 200K, but think about it before you head out that fucking door. And so she accepts it.
Yeah.
You know, like, of course.
Yep.
You gotta, it's one thing to do this because you're tasked at doing it, but to make some fat cheddar.
Dude, for your mom to be on the verge of kicking you out, you have no money. Things are terrible to $200,000.
Bonus. That's not even including any residuals or royalties that she would get as, you know, the contributor to this book.
She's set.
She's set.
She can pay somebody to beat up her mom once a week.
If she's got something that's been percolating in the back burner, this is your window to get that book done. You can create your own Kathy, your own Marmaduke, and, you know.
And pay to have your mom beat up once a week for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different guy every time.
Yeah, it's got to be. It adds a little bit more flavor.
Make Billy do it at least once, though.
Her and Billy, Bob Balaban tells Crudup, he's like, you know, if you need it, go to my summer home, lake house, get away from the city. I know you're not going to, but it's there if you want it. And so him and Mandy, basically, she starts cracking the code. And he does this thing where he spills the beans on his foibles. I have a towel I can't bear to get rid of because it has feelings and I don't want to hurt it.
I stick marbles up my pee hole till I get 3 of them. I hold them in there for as long as I can and then I pop them out one by one in the jar.
I put out want ads where I disparaged the Jewish population ad nauseum. You know, I pick my nose. Just all sorts of really vile stuff.
When I ejaculate, I go into deep depressions.
And but he likes Gamera movies, he mentions as well. So she's like, what is that? And they start watching Gamera.
Gamera movies? Are you sure you had a girlfriend once?
And every time she starts to, is it Gamera?
I don't know. I realize.
It's Gamera.
You know, I watched this movie. paid close attention to it.
Yeah.
I think most of it just passed right through me.
I mean, it's an inconsequential film, man.
Most of the things you were saying, I'm like, huh.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was part of the movie.
And every time she starts to try to open up to him, he just shuts it down. At one point, I think she mentions, or he insinuates, or tries to guess how much Bob Balaban's paying her. And they land on the $5,000 number. So he's like, I'm going to write you a check. So then you can just not do it. And he gives her the check and she rips it up. And so they're at a bar and he's like, how do you write? You know, what inspires you? And she's like, previously we do eventually meet Martin Freeman. They sit down on a bench. He was her, I don't know if he was her professor or her college aide, but also her boyfriend. And he's her author. So he left her and he's like, I had to leave you to write my book or whatever. I was also seeing another girl, but that wasn't anything. And he's got the book. They're wrapping up the final, packaging. It's about to be released, and he wants to now spend his life with Mandy Moore. And he even says, I wrote a dedication in there for you, which also happens to be the name of the movie. Ba-da-da! And she's like, look, bro, I just don't. And he's trying to be sweet, I think, but he's kind of coming off a bit of a creep. Which maybe that's the intent. So he wants to get back in there and she's not really having it. And at this point...
So she's like 24. He's like 36, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And so Billy...
She's Billy aged.
Yeah.
He's Billy aged.
So she confides in him that her and Martin Freeman used to go to a lake home and see all the stars. And that's where she would really get inspired. And so Billy takes her to a planetarium. And she's like, this isn't the same thing, but... I like it, thanks. And he's like, yeah, it's no beach though. And so then he calls Bob Balaban and he goes, hey, I need to get to that beach house and I need your Maserati to get us there. But before they go up there, he goes to see Bobby Cannavale, who is publishing. I think he's a publisher.
Yeah, is he Martin Freeman's publisher?
He is. And Billy's trying to get the dirt on him. That's more than I expected to be in there.
That's more than I expected to be in there. I don't think I should drink that much.
And so it comes to light that Martin Freeman has been waffling on the dedication of his book. And in this copy, he actually has 2 dedication pages. The first one's to Mandy Moore. The other one's to this other broad, right? This bimbo. And Billy's like, can I keep this? And apparently he's fine with that. So they're driving up to wherever they're going, upstate.
What is the
Poconos?
name? Is the name a dual name? Like they're dedicated to getting this book out. They're dedicated to getting the job done, and then it's also about the dedication and what. It's kind of a dumb name for a movie, right? Especially to have dedications be within it.
It is because you would assume that it would stem from a dedication in his book, which I'll put a pin in that because I'd like to touch on that a little bit later on.
When are we getting to the diner beating?
Oh, that's when he talked about the waitress. They're at the diner, the monster's beating that little kid, and Mandy Moore is about to lose her shit.
She's going to go over there, and he grabs her arm, and he says, you don't want to do that.
Yep.
She's just going to bring her home, beat the shit out of him 10 times more.
Yep, and Mandy Moore's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that.
Right. He's like, I did, because that was my youth.
Right, and he goes, you want to leave? And she goes, no, I'm a big girl. And he goes, hey, babe, I want to. And they leave. So they're driving up to let's say the Poconos. All right.
Fire Island.
Let's say that even more. And Billy is in the back because he can't be bothered to be a realized person.
Yep. He's got a helmet on and he's got things weighing him down.
Mm-hmm. And we haven't touched on it yet, but the editing in this movie is god awful and very annoying. They do a lot of these things where if Billy's like walking in his apartment and then he goes to lay on the floor and put books on him, it like super speeds through from the walking to the book part and then goes to normal mode. And then like the camera like gets weird and like orange and...
Or
it's
when
psychotic.
You first meet the ghosts in the beginning, you see Billy here, then it's a wide shot of him wandering around, but then it's them somewhere else talking to each other.
They use a lot of sound effects when they're doing it.
We haven't talked about Wilkinson's ghost at all.
That's true. He keeps reliving one moment, 2 moments we've seen that are in the movie, and then I think 1 or 2 that aren't. And so they're doing like they're feeding the salami to the pigeons, and then they break script, basically, and it's real now. Which, I guess it's all in his brain, right?
Yeah.
Except for when he's on the roof, and Wilkinson jumps off.
And says goodbye.
Is he? Yeah, who knows? So right on their way up there, for some reason, Billy realizes that it's probably not a good idea to show the manuscript to Mandy Moore in order to win her affection, which is his plan now. Tom Wilkinson says, find a good girl. Find a good girl. And so he tosses...
What an interesting Tom Wilkinson impression.
Yeah.
He did it, everybody.
Thank you. Because when he does, like, Brooklyn, it's weird when a Cockney does a Brooklyn. You got to get it in there, he says like that. And that's how he talks to his wife. I'm sorry, folks. So he tosses the book out the window, and there's like a huge buildup of the song that they're playing. God, what is her name? Newsom?
Oh, yeah, the Joanna Newsom song.
The Joanna Newsom song.
I was really happy to hear that.
I was like, too. I was like,
is very 2007.
And you hear that now because that's what everybody does now when they're singing. That sort of Newsom style. The real cute guy. It's like Lord. It's like yeah. But that's the OG right there. And I'm like, damn, this is hitting me in my feels.
She's still married to Andy Samberg?
So he tosses the book out the window on the side of the road. They get up to the house, and I mean, they're kind of just living. Bob Balaban's calling every day like he said he would, but Billy isn't answering. Eventually, when they're walking around a museum earlier, she talked about a telescope that her brother had that he would only let her look at when the mother made him. And so when Billy goes to get a package from the car, and it's a huge, box, immediately you know what it is. But she's cute about it, this is, and you wrap this? Boom, they bust it out and they're looking at it and they're doing a moment where she's like, oh, you see the thing? And he knows about nebulae now.
Nebulae?
Yeah, because he calls them nebulas. And she goes, no, actually it's nebulae. And he's like, yeah, I learned about all this stuff now. And this is where we get that Mandy Moore moment that she is so very good at. When she's, quote unquote, caught off guard and knows a kiss is coming. And she just gets like anime eyes. They're almost like glossed over and just like super big. Like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. It's my first kiss. And they kiss. It's the same thing that propelled her to stardom in A Walk to Remember. And so they sleep together, but I don't think they have sex. Maybe they do have sex. Do they have sex?
I don't know.
He talks about it, I think, a little bit momentarily later on. But he wakes up in the bed and he's doing his weird herky-jerky weirdo stuff like, oh, where am I? Oh my God, I'm in the, oh, this is so great. And he gives her a rock on the beach.
You saw that stone I gave you?
Yeah.
This one looks just like it.
No. You see, mine has two little blue specks right there. They kind of look like eyes. Like there's a little guy inside and he has his face pressed up against the inside trying to look out.
How'd he get in there?
Bob Balaban calls. Finally, he answers. Yeah, I'm going to take this. Ha ha! Vanilla.
Vanilla? Oh boy, thanks for the apple. I much prefer that to vanilla.
The peach one isn't that bad. I had one of those too.
Peach is wonderful.
Fruit works well for these.
Yeah. I'm not engaged with this episode, and it makes me wonder. It's obviously the movie.
Yes.
I don't care about the movie.
Right.
But it's also like, are you just not in the mood tonight to talk about movies, Jason? No, I'm in the mood. I was excited to do this.
I was actually a little worried that I wasn't going to be in the mood when I got home from work.
I thought we would have more fun talking about this movie. Mm-hmm. And I realized once we start talking about it, I really have nothing to say.
Well, so here's the deal. Bob Balaban divulges, which I think is unprofessional of him, that Mandy Moore is making $200K.
Yeah.
Because Billy goes, what about that $5K? And he goes, $5K? Oh, no, sweet child. It's more than that. And then Billy storms out. How much are you getting? And she's like, $200,000.
She doesn't lie. I respect her for that.
She never lied and doesn't lie.
She's a cool lady.
Yeah. So he goes, oh, so what is this? A payday for you? You gonna go back to your boyfriend? Is he okay with you fucking me? And he grabs her stone and he throws it off the balcony into the beach. And hard cut, she's out of there. She loved him. He loved her.
Oh, God.
Okay. He even says, how dare you accuse me of not liking you? He's banging his head against the wall, and it's so stupid. She's a catch, no matter how you slice it, right? That's Americana right there, son.
Mandy Moore?
Yeah. She's America's sweetheart, in my book.
She's a good lady.
She seems like a genuine, nice, also relatively pretty, attractive young lady.
Yeah.
Right? And he's not any of those things.
I wouldn't feel like Mandy Moore is going to fuck me over.
No, I would feel
like Mandy Moore is going to help me.
I would feel so much strength and comfort in her good graces, even as just a friend.
Yeah.
You call her up like, hey, Mandy, I'm having real problems with my podcast partner. And he's really bringing the show down.
I think he's talking about me.
Oh, no, a soda review.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Can we be friends with Mandy Moore? The two of us?
Dude, even if she just called in and was just like, hey, guys, I like the show, I'd be like, show's over. We're done.
Man, what?
That's the height of our accomplishment.
What? I don't think we stop.
No, we don't stop.
I was like, let's see if we can get Mandy Moore to call in, but not if you quit.
I wonder if she could get us in the door with Gordon.
I think we could get to Gordon if we wanted to get to Gordon.
Yeah, we'll get to you, Gordon.
I want to get to Gordon. I don't want to have to talk to people.
I'll do the talking. You just do inappropriate things in the background.
I don't want to do that.
So she's gone now, and Billy's in the dumps, right? And a prolonged period of time goes by because Bob Balaban, he talks his lawyers out of suing Billy because they basically own the book rights. So he gets Peter Bogdanovich to write it and Mandy Moore to illustrate it. And Billy just happens to see one day on the street that they're doing a book signing. So he goes to see Balaban, and he's just like, dude, you are way too late. Fuck off. It's apparent to me that he's probably not going to be able to even use the character, even if he wanted to, or contribute going forward. So he also knows that she's engaged. No, he doesn't know she's engaged, but he thinks she's with Jeremy now. So he goes to the beach house. He drives himself. He steals the car, smashes the window, drives himself to the beach house because he had to drive home, so he's a little bit familiar with driving. And he's trying to find the rock on the beach. And it's raining and thundering, and he falls asleep on the beach, and he wakes up, and right next to him is the rock.
I think this is actually a situation in which you die.
Absolutely.
You can't sleep out in the elements.
You can't just sleep on a beach in a rainstorm.
The ground and the weather sucks your heat away and you just die from exposure.
Yeah. Yes.
It takes but one night.
You would be so pruned.
Give me just one night.
So he races.
Una noche?
I got to get to the thing. And he gets to the thing and he butts in line, and Mandy Moore, I'm here to save you. Hey, Peter Bogdanovich. And she goes, I'm engaged now. And he grabs her and takes her to the restroom.
Can't be putting your hands on these ladies. I feel like there's a lot of hand grabbing.
And he does what all these idiots do.
Wrist grabbing. Hand grabbing's different than wrist grabbing.
Yes. Unless it's like, I'm stopping you from walking into the street and there's a car coming.
What if you slam on the brakes and you're stopping short?
Well, that's not grabbing.
You're getting fresh.
Well, yes, but you're also saving lives.
Getting fresh.
So he breaks it down for her.
Kramer.
Your feelings don't really matter. Mine are really all that matters. I'm damaged, but I need you. It's another Billy performance where he doesn't really change at all and somehow manages to win over the lady.
Is this over now?
It's not, because he reaches into his bag.
Oh, yeah.
Because he did stop to get the manuscript.
That's what's up.
Tears the only page out that he needs and throws the rest away. Kind of feels like you'd keep the book to prove that you didn't just make that manuscript page.
Yeah. Does he give her that paper at the end?
He doesn't.
No, he gives her the rock.
He reaches into his bag and almost grabs it. And apparently
it's
one
a
of the
fucking shot from inside of the bag.
One of the trivia notes is that you see the rock on the towel.
Yeah.
From earlier in the movie. And he gives her the rock. And she goes, wow, this is really great, but I'm not going to be with you. And she leaves. And he goes to Tom Wilkinson's grave. And earlier in the movie, he fell asleep at the grave and he took the gravestone down and laid it on his chest.
God.
Is that how gravestones work? They're just placed on a slab?
Nope, they would just all be falling over.
You could just knock them over willy-nilly and put them on you? So he puts the rock on the thing. He goes into another memory of Tom in the hospital. And he goes, hey, what's that sound? Because he's the Joker. And he looks up in the hospital room and he sees a reflection of Mandy Moore in the mirror above Tom's bed. Turns around, now he's back in the gravesite and she's standing there. And she goes, you promise you're not going to hurt me again?
Fuck.
And he goes, yeah. She goes, all right, you win. And he hugs her awkwardly and kisses the top of her melon. And the movie ends.
Okay, can I say, Billy, I don't blame you. I think you maybe thought this character would be interesting. It was probably more interesting on the page.
Yep.
Playing a real piece of shit with some problems. Mandy, you did the best out of most of the people in this movie. Not your fault. Movie didn't pull together. Justin, you should be to blame, right? Coming at you hard. It's your fault this movie sucks. Not your fault either, man. Just trying to make your first movie.
Well, and if his proclamations are correct, it was all in editing.
I really highly doubt that. I imagine the editing maybe made it worse.
You think he did all that fast forward shit? Or
I don't
that
know.
was added?
That's a great question. I think it matters not at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the performances in the story, it's there. It's bad, dude.
Sure. The way I would have liked to have seen this end is him at the gravesite, and then he goes on to write a book and dedicates it to her.
Oh, fuck. So much better.
But he doesn't get her.
Yeah, he shouldn't get her. The whole romantic subplot is awful.
It's so, I mean, you assume that's where it's going, but for so much of their immediate relationship, it doesn't seem like it could ever get there.
No, this is the problem with movies, right? Where you're like, it can't just be a man and a woman who are friends.
Yes.
They aren't even friends, co-workers.
No.
Hey, listen, I have a studio note. What if they're in love?
What if she's the love of his life?
Oh my God. Can you imagine how much better the ending would be if they were together?
Yeah. Because he says he can't do something clockwise with pieces of metal.
Oh, fuck. What was that?
And so when they're at the summer house, he goes, oh no, the lock turns counterclockwise or the adverse. And he goes, I could do it. I could do it. And he doesn't. And he gets in, and she's just like, oh my God, this is the man I want to have children with.
This movie's bad.
It is.
This movie's really bad.
Yeah, Mandy Moore, she did the best she could. There isn't much going on there.
The last half hours when I went, oh, this isn't a not good movie that isn't bad. This is a bad movie that is not good.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything about it's bad.
Yeah.
Like, Billy's not very good in it. I mean, it reeks of a first-time director, right?
I mean, it feels like maybe not so much Eternal Sunshine, more Garden State.
Okay.
But Billy's the Natalie Portman character and the Zach Braff character.
That was Zach Braff's first movie, right? That he directed?
Yes.
Garden State. It's so
Is
funny.
it his only?
No.
Okay.
He made several more.
He didn't do Elizabethantown.
No, that's a Cameron Crowe
That's
movie.
a Cameron, right.
He made Wish I Was Here, the sequel to Garden State. And he made
Never heard of it.
2 other movies. It was crowdfunded.
Oh, God.
Made 2 other movies in between those. Garden State's fascinating because most of us were like, this movie's great. It fit that time frame so well where you were like, yeah, man, that Shin song, that fucking... I was in college.
That's a soundtrack movie.
Yeah. I was in college when that came out. I was sad. I would like a Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
Yep.
And I really liked the Shins.
Yeah.
So that movie was firing on all levels. I tried to watch both that and Wish I Was Here 4 years ago. Couldn't watch either of them. Was fucking horrified and disgusted at myself.
This is a period where you didn't need developed characters. You just needed quirky characters.
Dude, I was thinking about this a little while ago. There's a movie called Gigantic with John Goodman where he has a tumor. He's not even the main character, but he's who I remember. And I think fucking New Girl's in there, Zooey Deschanel.
Oh, God, I haven't heard of this.
But he meditates for 30 days to push the tumor out through his throat. Gigantic. It's all quirks.
Okay.
It's in that little quirk zone where every character is quirky.
Right.
Yeah, this is part of that, but wildly uninteresting.
It's like there's elements in here that just don't belong. How dark some of the backstory is and his treatment of people.
There's not enough depth to it. It's just I'm going to say mean shit. I kind of hate this movie.
Yeah, to quote Fox News, it's a nothing burger.
Do they say that a lot?
Yeah, and it's really stupid, isn't it?
Do you have any more thoughts before we read some reviews?
I don't have any more, man. We're at 58 minutes on this.
That's great. All right, so we're each going to read a review.
Okay. Do I have to find one?
Yep, while I'm reading mine.
Okay.
These are reviews from IMDb, user reviews. This one is the first one. It's from February 12th, 2008. 10 out of 10, one of the more endearing films around. I just watched this film and have to say, it is one of the most endearing films I've seen in a long time. Think of it as Mozart and the Whale, but more painful and more true-life problems and neuroses, but also more heartwarming. Billy Crudup does a great job as the self-hating and world-hating pessimist in this movie. His wonderful portrayal of such an awful yet complicated character makes it all the more enjoyable to see him come around and finally warm up to someone. I've seen Mandy Moore in films before, and thought she's always been a better actress than people give her credit for.
That's true.
And this film goes to show that, Julian. This is Justin Theroux's directorial debut, and a wonderful one at that. The writing is superb, and the directing and acting only lend to the wonderful script. Tom Wilkinson gives another wonderful performance, as he always does. If you want to see a film that'll make you laugh, despite hating the characters at times, but somehow still miraculously fall in love with them and root for them, then this is definitely the movie for you. It isn't your usual romantic comedy, and putting it in that genre is a stretch in itself, but is one of the smartest and most warm-hearted movies you'll see this year. Fucking fuck. 10 out of 10. We're assholes.
Yeah, God. Just some of these titles. A fantastic debut. A pearl of an indie comedy.
Who is writing these?
Dedication is complex and rewarding. Great flick. Artsy. Funny. Good story. It has it all. A single skip for joy. Unlikely romance story with some edge. Features breakout role for Mandy Moore. Now, I'll read one, just because that's what we're doing here. 10 out of 10.
God damn.
From 2007, January. The title, Truly a Delight. Billy is Oscar-worthy. This is a great movie. Billy Crudup is so believable as a crazy person. I have never seen a performance like this before, which I take to mean I've never seen a movie before. Mandy Moore is sweet and perfect. Great chemistry between the two. The script is fresh and funny. The only con I can think of is that they use a kind of irritating stop-action flash movement to indicate the passage of time. Didn't like that, and it seemed out of place. The music is also outstanding, which I agree with. Great choice of songs, or at least that one. I don't think anything else really stuck out to me, but it is a great love story, but told in a different and beautiful way. A true delight.
What do you think's up with these reviews? Do you think they're Mandy Moore fans that had never seen a movie like this before and oh fuck, these people are telling like it is. These people seem real.
I think what it is watching some of these movies now. Trust the Man, this. Trust the Man, this. We had mentioned Garden State.
World Traveler.
Well, there's a real exploration of American male douchebaggery that
is excused?
Possibly, and also possibly, because I'm assuming a lot of this was probably Miramax, it may have just been what Weinstein would gravitate towards, because he is allegedly a douchebag.
I think he's been convicted.
Has he been convicted?
Yeah, he's in prison.
He is a douchebag.
Yeah.
A lot of this is, it's just because it's through the eyes of these male characters that, God, maybe we're just woke, but the shit, man, I don't think you could get a movie like this made and people would legitimately take it serious.
No, this would have to be good. You would have to make the good version of this for people to be into it. And I don't know that you can.
It's hard to tell what's supposed to be good about this. His quote unquote transformation, which doesn't really occur.
No, it's awful.
Their love story, which feels like a nothing burger.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess the performances are fine.
It's all just anchors on, I make kids' books, but I'm a terrible person.
Does this all anchor on teenage boys who want this to be their reality? That a hot chick is just going to come along and accept their shithead dipshit attitudes?
Yep. I think this is what would
and
appeal
devote
to me.
their lives to them?
This is what would appeal to me watching this movie
True.
when I was younger. I'd be like, yeah, right, I kind of suck, right? But, if you scratch a little bit deeper, I
still suck.
But, I can love you.
But I can at least attempt to proclaim my love for you. And
I'll get you the rock.
I get it, because I was sort of not like this, but sort of like this when I was 20. Snarky. I don't give a fuck. I'm super cool. But you kind of get out of that as you age.
Yeah, I feel like I felt very damaged and nobody could like me.
Right.
That's how I felt, although I was not a prick.
I couldn't imagine Tom Wilkinson taking a shining to Billy.
No.
At a certain point,
how did they ever
you just
together?
Give up trying to be a guy's friend like that.
Yeah, this movie sucks.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your rating, bro?
On the movie?
Yeah, give me a movie rating.
Fuck, bruh. I'm going to give it a 4.
Nice.
Only because I like Mandy Moore. And
you could go lower than a 4?
I could.
Wowzers.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I mean, there ain't shit going on in here. I like Bob Balaban. I like Mandy Moore. It's brief, but I like Bambi Cannavale. That Rebecca Newsom?
Joanna Newsom? The
Who's
song?
Rebecca Newsom?
The song you heard? You're giving it some points on the song.
That's all I can get.
The soundtrack.
I'm grasping at straws with this one, man. What are you going to give it?
I would give it a 4.5. I don't think it deserves a 5. I can't quite give it a 4.
Yeah.
Because I did have okay feelings towards it for a while. 4.5? Yeah.
Sure.
What do you give Billy?
That's a tough one. Again, it's a character that I absolutely loathe. But he's good to some extent. I'm going to give him a 6.
Oh, wow.
Wash my hands of it.
Really?
Yeah.
5?
Okay.
I don't know, man. I have enough disdain for this movie that...
I mean, it's a hard call, man. Because it's not like he does a lot of heavy lifting, but there's craftsmanship in what he does. It's just I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if everything about the movie sucks, then even if you're turning in a good performance, it doesn't look like anything.
That's true. You gave it a 5?
5.
Yeah. I'll begin with a 5 with this on you, because I'll go with a 5 on this one with you, because, yeah, you're right. I mean, at least if there would have been like a Tom Cruise explosive moment or something above just sort of flatline that's this movie, yeah, I guess that would have warranted a little bit extra, but...
I was pretty excited when this movie ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's not good. Not good. Not good. Not a good movie. Didn't like it.
Yeah. So
I feel like we're going to get more of these. Do you want to reveal to people how you feel about Billy Crudup now?
I'm starting to like him less.
Yeah.
It's hard because you see him in like The Good Shepherd, and like I've already gone on record as saying, even though it's a short performance, I mean, you know, it's good to see him, man.
He's got a little of that stage beauty magic there.
Yes.
Right? So we'll see you next week with Pretty Bird, but
yeah,
check us out on Instagram,
yep,
Facebook, Reddit, YouTube. We doing Filmographies.
Yep.
Knock, knock.
Who there?
Twitter?
Twitter who?
Twitter, do Filmographies.
Oh, boy.
Oh, shit. Do you feel like maybe sending us an email? Does that make you hot? You want to send us an email, and me and Jules will read that email on the air as you talk about how good looking we are. You can do that at wedoingfilmographies@gmail.com.
Yep.
Go ahead and give us a call on the voicemail. As of now, nobody's still called it. 763-634-1897.
Yeah.
And what I mean to say is lots of people have called it. This podcast is very popular. Lots of downloads. So many more downloads than you would ever guess. We rank really high. We're really high on the list of podcasts that people listen to. We are up there towards the top.
Yeah, it's like Joe Rogan and then us.
Yep.
We just can't dethrone the king.
Ha ha ha, Mark Maron.
Yeah, you are old news.
Well, we are also proudly part of the Now Playing Network.
Yeah.
Go ahead and listen to cool shows such as Overhated, the movie podcast where the underrated, the unfairly trashed, and the plain old forgotten movies get a second shot. Overhated. On NowPlayingNetwork.net.
You got it.
Hell yeah.
And
soda review? You want to talk about Pops?
You know, I've been thinking about trying to get that back off the ground.
Why not?
It's just sitting down and doing it. Takes about, depending on the episode, about an hour to record, and then I edit it, and I'm doing this TV thing here that we're doing. I call it a TV thing.
Why do you call it a TV thing?
I like to pretend.
Yeah, that's cool. I used to like to record music on a cassette tape, and then I would speak in between songs.
Oh, really?
Plain radio.
I like that.
Yeah. All you need was some boom boxes. Some boom boxes and some tapes.
Hey, it's Wetbag.
Pop the tabs open and you can record over your Ninja Turtle soundtrack.
Yeah.
Why you call me Wetbag? Because I got a bag of yogurt.
You know it.
My mom packed it for me.
Keep it
hungry.
cold. I've been Jules.
And I've been Jason.
And we did Filmographies.
We did them.
We did it.
We did them so good.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.